The Sharks, being the winners of the lottery yesterday, they didn't win the number 1 overall pick, but they got the number 2 overall pick. It's pretty freaking special, man.
Is anything going to happen with Steve Kerr? It's just
I'm waiting, dude.
What is
this
going
here.
on?
This is natural transition. You brought him up. What are we waiting for with Steve Kerr? Like, what's the holdup here? But no, I'm serious. I'm asking the question to all of you. Carter, Sam, Joe.
Your guess is as good as mine.
What is the holdup with bringing back Steve Kerr? Is it Steve being like, is Steve Kerr going Aaron Rodgers on me? You never go full Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he'll come back.
If he comes out and says,
retreat.
I've been immunized, or what did
Aaron Rodgers, yeah, I've been immunized.
I'm on an ayahuasca trip.
Yeah, immunized. Not saying he got the shot. No, I've gotten COVID, so I'm good now. That's not what that means, Aaron. Yeah, you did your own research. Maybe do it again, buddy. God, that guy. He's talking about.
As this guy has a sore throat coming in patient zero. Like, what?
We don't know.
Come on, Aaron. How dare you not get the shots?
So do you want me to say that I'm immunized?
Closer.
I'm not patient zero. I don't have COVID. I tested, okay? I don't have COVID. I'm good. All right? Now, my throat doesn't sound very great, but we're powering through, Just like Logan Webb. You know what? His knee is hurting him. He's not using it as an excuse.
Have we seen the best of Joe Spadoni? 888-957-9570.
Don't respond to that. I am going to get destroyed on the text line right now. They're going to be like, the best? Wait, what are you talking about? We only saw the worst. 888-957-9570. But I'm serious. I don't know what the holdup is with Steve Kerr. I don't know what we're waiting for. I don't know what's going on with Draymond Green. He continues to double down on this weird thing with Steve Kerr on his podcast, which you can find on Odyssey, by the way.
What do you mean he doubled down?
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. I hit the unfollow on the Apple podcast on his like download. I can't do it.
Well, he's our teammate here.
No, I understand that, but like
okay.
Yeah.
So this is where it started. This is back a week ago on his podcast, saying Draymond Green, and again, there's talk about Draymond, and he's already doing his media career right now. He's already kind of in that next phase potentially. He's on with ESPN inside the NBA, doing his thing. Maybe in a couple of years, maybe next year. Who knows? What is Draymond Green going to be next year? Could be a Warrior, could not be. Steve Kerr, is he going to be coaching next year? Who the hell knows? But this is Draymond Green a week ago talking about Steve Kerr and what he's meant to him during his career.
As much as he's done for me in basketball, a part of me think he's hindered me in my career and what I could have become. When KD came from 2016 on, I have not had a play in our playbook. Not a single play that we run for me in our playbook. Since 2016. But if you're going to take one gripe and not be able to move past it for all the other things, then you're shallow as a person. That says more about you as a person than it does about Steve or whoever else in that instant. You got to take the good with the bad, man.
Okay, there was that. Here's more. Again, this is Draymond a week ago, and we're going to play the most recent sound from yesterday, him addressing it again, but this is from his podcast a week ago.
What he's meant to me in my life, what he's taught me in my life, just telling them in our exit interview, the things that he's taught me about being a winner, I'm not sure where else I could have got that. I played for Tom Izzo, and Steve just took that to a completely different level, and especially showing me things about this level and winning. Like, I could never repay him for that. It's so important to who I've become.
Okay. So, just giving him his credit and credit where it's due. I just thought it was weird, Joe, before we play the updated version of the sound or the sound he had yesterday. I just thought the timing was weird in all this. And now I understand where it's like, well, he doesn't know if Steve's going to come back next year, so maybe the timing is perfect for him to. Well, it's like, if you know he's coming back next year, you're going to go and say he hindered you in your career? That's what he said. And people are trying to say like, oh no, you're misconstruing what he said. You're not understanding what he said. No, I understood what he said. Draymond feels that he could have been a focal point on offense. That's what he played with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, hell, Sean Livingston. The list of players that he played with that offensively were just better than him. You were at no point going to be the focal point there, Draymond. Now, yeah, maybe he could have motivated you more to be a better three-point shooter? Like, even that, when I'm saying that out loud, that sounds silly. You should have just wanted that for yourself, because it got to a point where, the last few seasons, we were dying for you to take more three-point shots. And you were so damn selective, then you started out your career being a pretty decent and above-average three-point shooter, and then it became non-existent. So I don't know, man. I just thought the timing of everything was so strange for me. And this dynamic between Draymond and Steve, at least the last few seasons, and maybe it goes back to, Kevin Durant. I don't know. It's just been strange. I don't know how else to put it. It's a unique relationship. Steve Kerr, on the record, has always had his back on our airwaves, to the media. He's always said he's the greatest defensive player he's ever seen. And this is a guy that played with the likes of Dennis Rodman, the Tim Duncans of the world, right? So I just thought it was strange timing. Why'd you need to say that? I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way.
I get it. Trust me, I totally get it. Can I ask everybody, how many guys in the NBA this year average more than 20 points a game?
Oh, wow. Is it more than I think?
I'm just asking you. What do you
22.
50.
It's a little more.
Oh, 50.
No.
Oh, no, a little more, 30.
25 guys.
Oh, wow.
Jimmy Butler was like right at the end. He averaged exactly like 20 points a game. It's really hard to average 20 points a game. Like really, really, really hard. And that's what most of these guys are, unbelievable players that are game planned against by every team. When you're the number one scorer or the number two scorer on a team, people are going out of their way to try to stop you on any given night, right?
Yeah.
Would we agree?
Yeah.
To think that anyone, and I think this is the overall NBA problem, anyone thinks, and by the way, that's for qualified scorers this year.
You have to play a certain amount of games.
Yeah, that's because some guys didn't
correct. It doesn't count if you played 2 games, got hurt or whatever.
Yeah. Some guys didn't qualify for it. But on any given year, you're looking at less than 50 guys in the league, give or take, that are going to average 20 on any given year.
Sure.
Going back, there's only been 5,000 players playing the NBA all time. So to be a 20-point-a-game guy is really difficult. It's extremely difficult. And so I look at this and I say to myself, all right, could Draymond have been a 20-point-a-game guy? Yeah, for a year or 2 or 3 or 4, maybe. To finish your career over 20 points per game, probably impossible.
Yeah.
But because a lot of guys in the history of the game have done that.
Yeah.
And him saying that in this freedom era where there's more possessions, we have quicker shots, we have less dribbling at the top of the key, waiting for the shot clock to expire. To think that he couldn't get more raw numbers. No, he could have gotten more raw numbers. Absolutely, he could have. But to be some prolific scorer, I don't think he ever had that skill set. That doesn't mean he wasn't good. I just don't buy it.
Klay Thompson might be the second greatest shooter in the history of the sport. All right? During his heyday with the Golden State Warriors, 2014 through 2019, because he got hurt, right? Those were his golden years. I think we could all agree on that, right? No pun intended.
Yeah.
21 points. This is season average, regular season. 21, 22, 22, 20, 21 and a half. That's what Klay Thompson, one of the greatest shooters in the history of the sport, was averaging. Even after getting hurt and missing 3 years, Joe, he came back. 20 points, 21 points, and then he started to see the decline a couple years ago, 17, saw 14 last year, and 11 this year. You started to see the slow decline. That's Klay Thompson. It's one of the greatest, offensive shooters we've ever seen. It's hard, man. So don't take it as a slight that you were never the focal point on offense, right? And I'll pick this up on the other side because he kind of doubled down on his comments about it yesterday. But before we do that, we got to hit the injury report. And some better news on Giants reliever Eric Miller, as they expect the lefty reliever to miss the minimum amount of time on the injured list due to a lower back strain. Miller described his injury as something that could be better in 3 to 5 days, but the Giants did not want to be without a reliever for that long, making the decision to place him on IL that much easier. Also, Harrison Bader started his rehab assignment last night. He went 1 for 3 as he looks to return from his hamstring injury. The Injury Report was brought to you by Boxer & Gerson, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. And you are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco and Odyssey Sports Station, and the home of the Golden State Warriors and Valkyries, always on the free Odyssey app. And we are coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. And don't you know it, Joe, the Morning Roast is presented by San Francisco Fire Credit Union, banking for heroes and anyone who wants to be treated like one.
Okay, about 5,000 players in the history of the NBA and ABA, give or take. In the history of the NBA and ABA, how many guys have averaged for their career more than 20 points a game? I was writing all this stuff down because
how many players, like unique individual players?
Unique individual players for their career who have averaged more than 20 points a game. It's really a small list in the history of the game. There's 5,000 players.
Does the numbers start with a 1 or a 2?
No, it's
not even.
I'll give you
it's less than 100?
Mark Aguirre, 75 guys.
75?
He's number 75. Wow. Who's number 76? Jaylen Brown at 19.99.
Wow. He's an MVP season.
Now, let me just read you 76 through 90. This is some of the players. And think of the style of play. Jaylen Brown, Mike Mitchell, Brandon Ingram, Kiki Vandeweghe, Paul Pierce, Tracy McGrady, DeMarcus Cousins, Magic Johnson, CJ McCollum, Kristaps Porzingis, Neil Johnston, Kemba Walker, Stephon Marbury, Chris Bosh, Jack Twyman. That's number 76 through 90 all time points per game. All under 20 points per game. Some of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
Like, no, when I think of Magic, I don't think of scoring. I was actually surprised that he averaged 19 for his career. Yeah. Like, that kind of blew me away. Tracy McGrady averaging 19 for his career. Well, first couple years of his career, he's coming off the bench for Toronto. All right, makes sense. Paul Pierce kind of hung around a long time. Makes sense.
Right.
Like, scoring in the NBA is so hard. I just don't think we give it the appropriate understanding. And like, to be a guy that's just a volume scorer, that in itself is a really difficult task. So again, 5,000 guys in the NBA, 75 have averaged 20 a game for their career.
I guess, I don't know. Like,
and I'm not taking anything away from Draymond. What I'm saying is that I think at times Draymond has such an inflated self-worth. No one's saying your offensive repertoire couldn't have been more robust had you played on another team. But with that comes give and take. You probably wouldn't have been as prolific of a player overall. You probably, I don't know, like if he goes to, like, say, the Detroit Pistons to start his career.
Right.
Is he still in the NBA? I don't know.
I don't know.
Gilbert Arenas had to be the guy, and that wore on him, and he had some legitimate, like, injuries that wore him down because he was the guy for multiple teams. And he's talked about that on his podcast, whether you guys think he's good or not. Being a role player doesn't come with the same amount of strenuous, game planning and 2 and 3 defenders crushing you at every single turn, whether you're Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Steph Curry, Clyde Drexler. Like, it doesn't matter. Defenses are tilted towards stopping you. I just think we underrate how hard it is to be the best player on an offense.
Joe in Oakland wants to join the conversation. 888-957-9570 is the number. What's up, Joe? You're on the roast.
Thanks for taking my call. Draymond said there hasn't been a single play in the playbook for him. You guys are now turning that into focal point, 20-point a game score.
No, I don't think I am. I'm not. No, I'm just saying, like, I think it's really difficult in general for anyone to be a scorer, and I'm not even ripping Draymond. I'm actually just explaining how in the NBA, I think we take these scorers, guys that lead their team in scoring or lead the league in scoring. Just in general, I don't think people realize how difficult that is. This is not even a Draymond-specific conversation.
Joe, you guys just went from several sound bites of him talking about something specific and converted that into your discussion of the players who have scored 20 a game and how many players there have been in the league and focal point. Those were your words. So I'm wondering why not actually approach what he said. And I don't even like Draymond. I'm not defending Draymond. But Draymond said a single play in the playbook. Do you have any idea how common or uncommon it is for a team to not have a single play in a playbook?
Let me ask you this. How many times have you seen Draymond Green? We'll have a real... Because I don't want to get into Draymond bashing. I've done that for 5 years. Okay? So that's kind of why I'm not. I wanted to have a
You
more.
can say you're not.
Okay. How many times have you seen Draymond at the top of the key not square up to the hoop? How many times a game? How many times a quarter? How many times a quarter?
People leave. I've listened to the Austin Rivers calls it completely. People leave a lane open for him. Draymond either has his backpack three or his open lane to the basket. I'm not disagreeing about any of that, but I don't even understand why you're not engaging. I bet you have a good point if you were to engage with what Draymond said on his own terms.
We talked about it last week. We talked about it this week. I talk about it every week. Draymond refuses to take culpability on his own offensive skill set. What element of his game offensively in the last 6 years has gotten better?
None. He's been a really good passer still, but hasn't gotten better now.
His assist-to-turnover ratio this year was the worst it's been in many years.
Yeah, exactly.
He's getting older.
He's getting older.
But like normally as you get older as a player, you add elements to your game. And I think my bigger point, it's not even about Draymond. I just think in general, a lot of these guys on these podcasts talk big and they all talk about how great they were and what they've done. It's like, dude, do you know how difficult it is? Like Luka Doncic, we could call him a ball hog all we want. To average 29 a game this year in the NBA, wow. It's like that's his career average.
I know.
Luka's career average is 29 a game. And I just think when I hear a lot of these athlete podcasts, whether it's Austin Rivers, Draymond Green, anyone in general, I just think the fans and some of the players are so delusional at how difficult it is to be an amazing offensive player. Kobe Bryant averaged 25 points a game for his career. For his career.
The greatest of all time?
I don't know. I just more marvel at the rhetoric around no one's called to play for me. Like, I just don't buy that. I don't buy that.
And
I don't buy that.
Joe and Oakland's
and I don't want to bash on Draymond.
No,
That's why I'm tired of the Draymond conversation. I got Draymond fatigue.
And I hear you on that. And Joe in Oakland saying, like, you guys are misconstruing what he's saying. It's a totally different topic. He said he just wanted a play for him. Well, if you're getting a play drawn up for you on that given play, you're going to be the focal point of the offense.
The fake handoff is not a play for Draymond, which they've been running for ever. The high pick and roll where he comes up and sets the screen for Curry and now he's the trigger man is not a play for Draymond. He's the point guard.
I want to play it one more time.
Like what?
One more time.
As much as he's done for me in basketball, a part of me think he's hindered me in my career and what I could have become. When KD came from 2016 on, I have not had a play in our playbook. Not a single play that we run for me in our playbook. This is 2016. But if you're going to take one gripe and not be able to move past it for all the other things, then you're shallow as a person. That says more about you as a person than it does about Steve or whoever else in that instant. You got to take the good with the bad, man.
So Joe was saying, who called in, he was saying, oh, you're misconstruing what he's saying. No, I'm not. He literally just said what I could have been in my career. You are not going to be a 20-point scorer in your career.
Well, that was where I was trying to land.
You're not going to be that.
Well, but also, I still think he has the ability to be a double-digit scorer every single night. We have been begging, so forget 20 for a minute. Double digits has been the number. Bonte, how many weeks in a row did Bonte come in here and go, man, when Draymond scores more than 10, this team is almost unbeatable. Why is that? Because when he is aggressive offensively, the floor opens up for him as a passer, which actually makes his floor game way more comprehensive. We've been begging him to actually shoot a little more. Now, this year, he has shot more threes in the first half. In the second half of games, he passes up those shots. Guys, I have podcast fatigue. I have the Draymond fatigue regarding it. He had a great year this year. I commended him for the amount of games he played. He had a wonderful kind of a finish in terms of effort level when he could have easily packed it in. And you could say, Joe, no, I'm giving him a lot of credit. I mean it, a lot of credit. Did I like what ended up happening at the end of the Suns game? Not really. I'm not going to dwell on it. I thought it was kind of weak that he got thrown out after a very touching moment. I'm just, overall, this whole Draymond back and forth, who he touches. This is why I hit unfollow on the pod. I'm just Draymond out. Would I take him back on a 2-year deal? Yeah, I probably would. And I'd probably be ready to recharge my battery come October or November for more Draymond stuff. After the year we just had, I'm just a little
Also, like, why would you have a play for someone that when the best play is a fake handoff for them?
Not even a
like,
shot.
think about that. And you have three players on the team who you would rather see double teamed with the ball than him wide open shooting.
But this team doesn't necessarily run plays. They run sets.
100%.
And of those sets, there are many variations. Carter, you played basketball at a very high level. The motion offense that they're running is more of a freestyle read and react based on how the defense is playing you, how the ball is moving, how many dribbles the guy takes. It's not throw it here, set screen here, you do this, you do that. That's why it's so difficult for young players that have played in very specific offenses to come into this one and really understand it. It's because it's so nuanced based off, hey, if this guy hedges me this way, I go 2 steps and then back door. If Steph comes flying this way, you got to know to set that screen. It's not a play. It's a feel. That's why Kevon Looney was so good at this after many years. They don't run plays.
It's like the Princeton offense, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Steiner's favorite.
And so, did Kevon Looney get plays run for him?
No.
Although
we did want him to shoot the ball more, like jump shoot.
No. And
Yeah.
same thing as Draymond.
Same thing as Draymond,
Right?
yeah.
Like, did Iggy have plays run for him? Not really.
Not really. No. Maybe the Philadelphia days. All right, you got Draymond fatigue. Too bad, because we got more Draymond on the other side. We got Austin Rivers versus Draymond Green. You are not going to want to miss this, folks. Some juicy sound from yesterday. We will get into all of it. Plus,